I'm Leeza Gibbon here with you in Irvine for Move for Minds. I have the star panel, superstar panel of all the 8 cities today. You're going to love all of our experts. I want to jump right into it because I'll introduce them in short order. But Lori La Bey is a real passionate advocate. She created a thing called Alzheimer Speaks, and she has these care cafes and these real outlets for people who are diagnosed and their caregivers to have a voice. Because in case you guys haven't noticed, a lot of people with Alzheimer's disease are marginalized and don't have enough of a voice. What's your big message?
My big message is shifting caregiving from crisis to comfort. I think we all deserve that. One of the things that I think we really have to take into account, though, is our verbiage that we use. So even though I use the word caregiver, I would really encourage people to switch to care partner or care companion. Caregiver sets up that crisis state. It says, I'm giving everything away, I'm not getting anything back. But being a care partner or a care companion says, we're in relationship. They're still here. That is so critical. My personal journey was with my mom, who had dementia for 30 years. And people go, oh, that's amazing. And I'm like, you're going to see a lot more of that with early diagnosis and more conversations and people becoming aware. And that is a good thing. My mom's journey was the biggest gift I'll ever receive in my life. And most people don't look at illness as that even being possible, but it made me a better person. It made me be more conscious. It made me slow down and let go of all the crap I can't control, but I've been told I can. And that's a gift so huge. It's taught me to connect on different levels, to go within, to find peacefulness, and to really push to raise everyone's voice. So some of the things that I have done when I created Alzheimer Speaks was, bottom line, I broke every business rule there was, because I didn't want to work in a broken system. And so I created Alzheimer Speaks to raise everyone's voice, and I mean everyone's. That means the person with dementia. That means the family caring for them or a friend. That means business professionals, doctors. It means authors, movie directors. Everybody in this room has the power to improve our dementia care culture. Every single one of us. We can look at this as a crisis, or we can look at it as a gift. And we have forgotten, I think, in society, our power of one and the impact that we have. Through the radio show, through something called Dementia Chats, which is where I interview people a couple times a month and video it, and all this stuff is free on the website. My experts have dementia. Who better to ask than somebody living with the disease? What do they want out of life? What are their perceptions of the disease? What do they want us to change? We need to have these conversations. They have wonderful insights, great hope. We really have to work together. Don't talk enough about our social interactions, memory cafes, the just having the conversations, keeping your connections. And we don't really talk a lot about emotional toxins or stress and the effect that has on our bodies and how we interact with one another. And I think that the meditations, the exercise, everything everyone is talking about, I think is really powerful, but we have to remember who we are as a community and be in relationship, because isolation is such a huge factor with this disease. And, you know, being connected is another way of keeping our minds active.
I bumped into her site one day and got onto Dementia Chats, which are people who have Alzheimer's. I watched 11 hours straight of that because I was so shocked at these people were absolutely alive, living it with every day, talking about things that they need. It was so unbelievably refreshing. So when you get the diagnosis, it's not that you go into this immediate depression. They became active. And they are very active in talking and discussing and working with congresspeople. It takes also the fear away, and fear is really one of the things for any type of disease. The minute you have a fear and the minute you start living that or thinking that or afraid of it, it becomes you. I mean, you feed on it. Your body feeds on it, and that's not healthy either.
It's so great that you have that platform and that's the work that you do, and look what's happening.
Well, it is very exciting, and again, with my journey with my mom of 30 years, she taught me so many lessons. Like everybody in our life, there are lessons to be learned if we're open to learning them, and that's why I think it's so important to stay socially active. Look into the memory cafes. We're actually doing a cruise this November for people with early memory loss in their families, and we're going to have a symposium, but it's all about creating moments of joy. You're not going to find what you don't look for. You know, I used to be the queen of checklists in caring for my mom, which probably many of you are, and we feel empowered when we check off our list. It makes us feel good because we're out of control. But I found that I had to switch from my list of to-dos to 3 simple things to really improve my interaction and my peacefulness within. And that was before every interaction, if it was on the phone, if it was in person, whatever, I had to ask myself, is she safe? Is she happy? And is she pain-free? When I focused on that, it changed everything in terms of how I do my tasks. Some I found I didn't need to do. Some I found I could actually let somebody else do it or ask for help. But it allowed me to be a daughter again. And so I'm just going to give a plug in the very back, down at the Alzheimer's Research and Prevention Foundation. I did put some brochures, so if you're dealing with somebody with dementia, there's a whole bunch of tips of just really simple things to do to empower the person with dementia and yourself and embrace, live life gracefully, like you were saying, Leeza.
Such important work that she's doing, and grateful to Maria, grateful that we have this women's Alzheimer's movement, grateful to these brilliant, compassionate, caring, and very insightful panelists, who I told you we had the rock star panelists for today.